One thing Missoula said, and this is something I stand by in life. There's 3 sides to every story. There's not 2 sides to every story. It's your side, his side, and the truth. That right? That's it. That's it. There's 3 sides to every story. Like Missoula's just he's not saying really anything. And if anybody told you it doesn't matter, because that's what they will do, Jaylen Brown did it himself. Oh, I try to, ignore the noise, but I do have a chip on my shoulder. I did want to do this. Tell me Al Horford saying that he's starving didn't motivate you. He is. He looked like a wolf. He looked like a wolf about to go lurking for prey. The way he was talking after that. Again, the chip that is on Jaylen Brown's shoulder, I'm glad we're seeing the superstar Jaylen Brown. This is the same guy, which you could really look at it, choked in Game 7 last year. He then became the highest paid player in the NBA, who was criticized for no left hand in his free throws and was booed in Indiana at the All-Star game for the slam dunk contest. Booed. Booed on draft night, by the way, to go way back. But here he is, persevering. At times, he did disappear. In some of the close games in the regular season, people were wondering about Jaylen Brown. Why is he sitting on the corner, on an ISO situation with Tatum with the ball? There were all those things. I mean, now that Porzingis is out of the way a little bit, you're starting to see more of his game develop. And what I'm seeing more is Jayson Tatum doing more. His shooting isn't great, but he is driving to the basket and kicking out assists. He's rebounding more than ever. Both of them are playing at an elite level, and that's okay. I don't care who the 1A is. Right? Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was 1A. But Scottie Pippen was a damn good basketball player. Right? You could do that. Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler going back to back. Drexler didn't care that he wasn't 1A. These guys don't care as long as they win. I mean, look at Kyrie Irving right now. He clearly is not 1A. He's not. He's thriving. He's absolutely thriving. And listen, I think people think Karl Anthony Towns is 1A. I don't, Skaz, who's 1A on Minnesota? Who is 1A? Is it Karl Anthony Towns? Or is it Anthony, is it Ant Edwards? Who is it?
It would be Anthony Edwards.
Okay, see, I don't care. I don't care who the 1A is. Denver, the 1A is Jokic, right? But these narratives are so lazy and takeless. Create your own content, you talking heads. 7 seasons now together are Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. They've had 3 different head coaches. They've played along over 70 teammates. They're on the doorstep. I've always said that they can go to the finals together, but it's still up in the air if they can win together. That's just the facts. But now with Drew Holiday, Porzingis, and Derek White, and even Al Horford playing at this level, clearly they're the favorites. They have the support that they needed. They've added the support of players like Holiday, White, Horford, Porzingis, and now they've given Brown and Tatum the tools. They supported Missoula with a staff. They've come a long way. They've grown. But man, please look into it a little bit more about these two. They've went out of their way to become closer. They want to play together. Celtics ownership thought about moving on from Jaylen Brown, and it was Tatum who said, no. Do your research on that, please. Don't look for something. Don't look for who's 1A, 1B. These guys want to win championships. Then it becomes whatever you want it to be. 2 superstars who want to be at the top, that's fine. Let that thing play itself out. I don't know. Last I checked, when I look at some super teams, let's call the Warriors, right? It would have been in Kevin Durant's best interest to stay with Golden State, wouldn't it? Right? Would have been in his best interest. Instead, he's bounced around now to Brooklyn and the Suns. That guy's dead in the water right now. I just look at where this Celtics team is. They win it all this year. They could be doing this for a long time. envy of the NBA. 617-779-0985. We also have an update on Kristaps Porzingis there, Skaz. Let's hear that one.
The last time we talked to you, you said you haven't spoken to the team doctors regarding Porzingis. Have you spoken to them this week?
No, I never talked to those guys.
You're so consistent.
Will we see him in Game 1 of the NBA Finals?
I'm not sure. I don't know yet. I do know he ramped it up on the court a little bit. I do know, I've said he's working really, really hard. There's a couple shoot-arounds where he hasn't done anything with the team, but he's been in a one-on-one set, kind of ramping it up, the intensity level of it. So I know he's getting better and better.
When you say he's ramping it up, that's safe to assume he had been ramping it up during the last series and not just the last couple of days? Okay.
Yeah, throughout this, yeah.
All right. Again, Mazzulla, who is usually, I really like him when he's on with those guys. They all have a good relationship. I can tell that it's not just on the air. I can tell they've hung out maybe before. But why give anything up on Porzingis anyways? But Skaz, there was a tweet today by one Kristaps Porzingis in Latvian. I don't know if you've done your translation on what he said, but could you give me a breakdown of the Latvian tweet or X that he did today that was in Latvian? If you could translate that for everybody, please.
Yeah, so obviously I had no idea what it said, but you hit translate post, and it says, "Thank you to everyone who supports and sympathizes throughout the season. I'll be back in line soon. See you in the finals and then in the arena with your own." So obviously not the best translation, but it sounds like Porzingis should be ready to go for the finals.
See you in the finals.
See you in the finals.
I'll be back in line soon. So there you go. There's your update on Kristaps Porzingis. Two other things I wanted to bring up. Totally random. I don't have the sound, so just take my word for it. Paul Pierce was on, what is it? Undisputed, whatever that show is. He mentioned two things regarding injuries. One of the injuries was the layoff gives Jayson Tatum a chance to get his hip right. So I'm not giving an excuse for Tatum. But is he playing with a bad hip? And the other thing that Paul Pierce said was Drew Holiday's dealing with a hand injury. So I would just tell Paul Pierce, if you're going to work in the media, bro, might not want to say those things. Has anyone else picked up on it? Is the night show the only people who've picked up on it? Do you know what I think it was? The code red. Right? Caleb Martin, he fell right down on his hip. Tatum got right back up. For anyone who's ever fallen on their hip, especially in the ice, right? When you're outside in the ice, the black ice, especially when you slip, you don't know. Boom! Right on your hip. That thing doesn't hurt right away. But you wake up the next day going, oh. Could it be? Could that have been something that may have hurt Jayson Tatum?